His kids are so far removed, they don't even really get it.
Here.
What the hell is that? I'll fight you for it.
I can't.
I mean, the daughter gets
What do
it,
you mean
but
can't?
the son
Just
don't.
take it.
He chickened out. He's scared.
Oh, yeah. He's real scared of you.
What's that supposed to mean?
You won, man. Yeah. Tonito, you won.
See, yeah, he don't.
One of Gangland's youngest alleged leaders died late this afternoon at St. Isaac's Hospital.
Shit.
Turn it off.
Giacomo
Turn the
Jackie
music off.
They got a constitutional crisis.
Authorities called April the acting boss for 74-year-old Ercole Eckley DeMeo.
God damn it. I was just there. He told me he wouldn't go today.
I'll never forget where I was this day.
He's a good man, St. Pete. Let's do a toast. Give me a toast. To a great man. To a great leader. A great friend. To Jackie.
That's not all. I go to make a pickup from Yo-Yo Mendez. He says it ain't my corner anymore. It's Junior's.
Christopher, this ain't the time.
I say we go to DEFCON 4.
Christopher, shut up.
Gotta assess this, all right?
This is about respect of our thing.
Why don't you shut the fuck up? It doesn't concern you.
Yes, it is. I represent you out there. This ain't negotiation
They're
time.
telling you to
this
shut
is
the fuck up.
Scarface, final scene, fucking bazookas under each arm. Say hello to my little friend.
Always with the scenarios.
You don't do something, I gotta question your leadership.
Oh.
You ungrateful little fuck. Where'd you get the balls to question my leadership, huh?
I'm just saying how it is.
I'm gonna rip your fucking head off and finish the job. And you're lucky a man I love died today.
Here we go. War of 99.
We should go with.
You do what you're told, when you're told.
Adios, Junior.
You know what was dope about that scene? The fact that they all just sat there. They let Tony handle it. Tony leaves. He said, you do what the fuck you talk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Oh, shit.
I came in heavy, like you said, but I don't want to use it. Our friend Jackie has died.
I heard.
And we need a leader. And I don't want any confusion or misunderstanding.
Yes?
Sopranos have been waiting a long time to take the reins. That's why I want it to be you, Uncle June.
Oh. That's a smart play, kind of?
This is your decision? You speak for the captains?
I can.
See, that cleared up everything.
Crazy. Chidrul.
That was smart.
Be worried there.
What do you think? I'm gonna mess
I
with a guy
wonder.
like you?
Nah.
Huh?
It's
What, you
something
been
deeper
pumping
there.
iron? Look at you, strong as a bull.
Yeah, it's something
Hey,
deeper.
call Parcells. Give this guy a tryout, huh? Come here.
Always the bullshit.
Parcells. Y'all know how important Parcells is to Jersey?
You know I can't be perceived to lose face, right? So, Bloomfield and the paving union. It's my asking price. Congratulations.
Hey, the politics of this was fire.
Phil Lito said, yeah, he's real scared of you. But when I asked what that meant, they all laughed.
Duh. What do you think Dad does for a living? Do you know any other garbage men who live in a house like this?
Uncle Jackie.
And why do we call him Uncle when he's not even related? He's in Dad's other family.
Look at that bullshit
print it out for
website.
you.
That was cutting edge, yo.
Hi. I guess we won't be going to dinner.
I'm worried, Jennifer. I was standing in line this morning in the donut shop. A man in a booth looked at me. All of a sudden, I started shaking uncontrollably.
You've been through a very traumatic experience.
I'm afraid to go outside. The song keeps running through my head. People are strange. The doors.
She ain't trying to do work at home.
Faces look evil.
Or at her man's house.
When you're alienated.
Saw my first dead body when I was about 15, maybe 16. Won't tell you about how he got clipped because it was.
Sorry.
You okay?
I guess I live a sheltered existence. I guess I'm out of touch with the climate of rage in American society, the casual violence.
Your voice is all tight.
My friend got beat up by a policeman, no less. I mean, I don't know if this cop was crazy or drunk or what.
Both.
But he was raving. Prime rib, hamburger. It was surreal.
Fucking moron.
Yeah, he is.
Is my relationship with him will never be the same. But you still have your doubts?
About therapy? No. Give it another chance. Got a lot of good ideas here. He's content. Thinks he's the king of kings. Truth is, every decision is made by me. Point is, he's got the title. He's a happy fucking camper. The house is secure.
Look at his mom smiling.
Only now we got a brand new lightning rod on top to take the hits.
As long as you're guaranteed to keep the old font in line.
Yeah, I still love that man. I'm his favorite nephew. Over there with my mom. Those people went through World War II.
Check out the government.
Shooting right to left. Get Uncle Jone's good side.
Yo, that was fire. Like, this whole part is hilarious. Because, first off, the feds could clearly see who's now in charge, right? That's all you had to do is go to the funeral. And then she's like, see? First, let me start by saying don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure to hit the notification bell. Shout out to all the new viewers. Shout out to all the subscribers. And I have a Patreon, full-length early reactions and things like this. If you'd like to, check it out. Hey, the thing about the kids that's funny, and this is something I noted, but I don't recall if I said it in I think it was the first or second episode. When I saw the young daughter's room, I went, oh, man, they're so far removed from what this, not just what the family business is, but what the family used to be. I'm looking at that room and that looks like, you know, that Americana horse shit. It's like, oh, this is how a girl's room is supposed to be. It looks like that, right? And then when I saw the son's room, I'm like, okay, right? But, and that makes sense, right? They live in the U.S. and the longer these groups stay over here, the longer they just become straight up white folks, basically, right? It's not like, oh, I'm Italian, to the point where the daughter, she doesn't want to have anything to do with it. She can't wait to leave and go to Berkeley, and she seems to not even really, I don't see her at all talking anything about even caring about being Italian, or even forget the mob part of it, right? She almost like fuck that. And the way you can kind of see that is she takes glee in revealing to her brother what the family business is. And when she says, why do you think we call Uncle Jackie uncle even though he's not our uncle? And then they go to the website, which is hilarious because of what that time is. And when you watch it, I mean, when you look at it and you see his face, it's like, okay. So they go to one of the most mobbed out events you can go to, and that's the funeral of a mob leader. And Uncle Junior's sitting there. He got the hat on, he chilling, and everybody's coming up to him, paying him respects. And then Tony's mom is sitting right next to him, grin on her face. And because to her, the old school is back, right? And then you have the son. He's just looking. But before we get to that, we had the feds taking pictures. And Tony said something that was like funny, like, oh, they getting his good side, basically, Uncle Junior. So they can clearly see who's in charge now. Like with no question. Of course, in the court of law, you would have to have some proof, oh, you worked for him, blah, blah, blah. But just off site, you can see Junior's in charge. But now you go and you see the little boy, he's just staring. And he's looking like, yo, look at this mob shit. Look at this gangsta ass shit. And the daughter looks and she's like, way she looked like. See? Like she gets a kick out of it. And you can tell she gets a kick out of it because when Chris and his girl came to pick her up, she's like, what, the feds picked him up again or something like that. Like she just joked about the feds, right? Like her whole life, think about how many times they've had to deal with that. And so the fact that she wants to be away from it, but she also gets a kick out of what her family is funny. Okay, then there's also what this show is. This show definitely is a comedy. Because I look at what Tony is and I look at what the family is, and you look at what the characters are, they all serious, but there's a comedic element to all of it. Look at the meeting of the captains. Right? Look at that meeting. They eating some of the biggest lobsters you've ever seen, and you know for a fact they got those as payment for something, right? Like it was a gift from somebody. I mean, these are the largest lobsters, that so big there's nothing else in sight. I don't think I saw any other food, just giant fucking claws and tails, right? But then you're seeing this sort of dealing. This whole show is them dealing with the old and the new, and you have the captain sitting at the table. And Tony is like, man, if the old man was out here, things would be a certain type of way. And boom. Okay. Now you go skip to what ends up taking place. His uncle told him, hey, if you show up heavy. Okay. So when I saw him with the gun, I'm like, what? Is a war about to begin? Nah. He goes in there. He's like, I showed up heavy, but I don't plan on using it. They sit down. And he says, the Sopranos have been waiting for their seat at the head of the table for a while. I think it should be you. And he's like, the other captain's going to agree? He's like, well, no, you speak for the captains? He's like, I can't, right? So, a dope play because it was about to get out of hand. You sort of quiet that down for a little bit. The Sopranos do sit at the table. So if something happens to him, it's a little bit more of a, people already kind of wanted Tony there, but it sort of seals it that he'll probably be next in line, right? Then you have the portion of this where Tony longs for the old school way of the mob. So who's more old school than his uncle? Think about that for a second. Tony's been longing for this sort of old school way, the way it used to be. And then someone says to him about his uncle, yo, he's living in like another century or some shit like that. And Tony has trouble dealing with him. So what do? We make the old guy in charge. Now, I'm assuming there's going to be some issues because that man, he's ornery like a motherfucker, right? But that's what's dope about that move is that while Tony had to deal with that and deal with how his uncle is the old school guy. He's the oldest one, and he planned on handling this in an old way. But let's see how that works out. Because while Tony longs for that, Tony isn't necessarily on that type of time. He should have been dealt with Chris. Right? Like Chris came in there after Jackie dies and pulls that stunt he pulled. He should have at the least got a fucking beaten, right? And I'm talking about in gangster terms. I'm not talking about it in real life, right? In real life, you talk about it. But his nephew is an asshole. Oh, here's another thing that's interesting. As I said, just based off what I know, the fact that they have blacks pushing for them. By 99, it had been a while since that had taken place. But there was a time where they were the connect for a lot of them, for guns and for drugs. Then there was the time before this where they not even dealing with black people. But to see a black person working directly for the mob, and not like, oh, they about to do a run, or oh, they handling this, so it's going to be a one-off thing. Nah, that dude got to pay, he got to pay up every time, right? Like they breaking him off. He pushing for them. And so that's interesting because, for one, there was a moment where they wasn't messing with drugs. And then there was a moment where they just deemed that drugs was for blacks and Hispanics. And then we to the point where they cool with them dealing drugs with them. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. His mom is hilarious. I mean, yo, she's such a good actor. When he came in there with the macaroons, tell me why her very first, for the first second was, oh, something for me. And then it was like, Then he says, you want me to leave these? Leave some for the lunatics. The fact that they keep calling it the asylum and shit is funny, man. She's so ridiculous. But then we go to Carmela and also the therapist. Did y'all notice the therapist was basically like she was talking about her life to a client, specifically to Tony? We're going to get into that more. I'm not even going to speak on that, but it's like, it was one thing. I'm like, how much is she going to share with him? She shared how she was feeling. She shared what was going on with her life with her boyfriend, how it was affecting her, like, we won't be together anymore. And then she fully told everything that happened. And it's like, and the fact that Tony was like, oh, moron, right? Like, because that dude was an idiot. He's being ridiculous. And he's a degenerate. I wonder how much we're gonna have to deal with that cop, because he's a piece of shit. But hey, of course, this is another good episode. What he did with his uncle was dope. One thing I noticed about this is the way it's filmed is interesting. They do these shots that I would see on like a show like Oz, where when they're driving away, they just film a tire, or when that cop was beating up the guy, the camera was like sort of facing upward. It makes it to where it's this surrealness to some of the situations, right? Yeah, I like this, as y'all can tell. Next episode.